Welcome, all you minotaurs and marionettes. This is another episode of Once More with Feelings. I'm Michelle.
And I'm Beth, and we're an emotional movie podcast. We watch the movies, we think about them, we talk about how we feel.
All the feels.
Every feel. Not every feel.
Not every
feel.
No, not all the feels. So, personal disclaimer, still getting over my voice issues. So, if I go baritone, you know why? Are you on LSD?
I was looking at our ceiling.
Okay, because you were looking at the ceiling and I didn't know why.
I was literally looking at the ceiling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was checking the ceiling out. Sometimes I'm scared that the ceiling's there. And then I look up and I'm like, okay, the ceiling's fine. It's there.
It is a drop ceiling, so it could drop on us at any moment.
That's my problem.
I know. It's an old house, people.
They don't call it a drop ceiling for no reason. They're made to drop on you and kill you.
You just don't know when.
It's built into the maze.
Oh. Speaking of this week, that's a good segue.
I know.
Speaking of, we did for our second, not quite so scary Halloween movie. We did Cooties last week. We are doing a scarier one next week. But we did Dave Made a Maze.
Yeah.
Pause. I know, it's obscure.
Dave Made a Maze is a 2017 movie. Mm-hmm. Dave, an artist who has yet to complete anything significant in his career, builds a fort in his living room out of pure frustration, only to wind up trapped by the fantastical pitfalls, booby traps, and critters of his own creation.
Practically literal booby traps, but there are actually no boobies.
That's true. There is a vagina.
There is a vagina.
There's a paper vagina.
That hypnotizes.
True.
As most vaginas do. I mean,
that is the IMDb summary. Not that last part. That was not in it.
That was just me.
Only the official version ends at critters of his own creation.
Yeah, no. The rest of it was
I don't
me.
want you thinking that they said something crazy on IMDb.
Boobies and vaginas?
Exactly.
Okay.
So the director is Bill Watterson.
Not to be confused with Bill Watterson, who wrote Calvin and Hobbes.
Oh, seriously? I thought it was.
Nope.
So Bill did Ouija, Origin of Evil as an actor. He was an actor.
Yes.
The Guest as an actor as well. And Dave Made a Maze as his directorial debut. Mm-hmm. Did a great job.
This is such a good movie, guys.
I love this movie. We've seen it before. We watched it together a year ago.
Yeah, about a year ago.
And about the same time. Mm-hmm. Where the air is nice and crisp outside.
Yep.
It's cooling off, and you just get this feeling of our time. This is our time.
This is my happy time of the year. This really is.
It has a large cast.
A very large cast.
But it is kind of narrowed down to
it's just there's a lot of people that show up.
Oh, yeah.
And disappear.
Yeah, this is kind of the Moscow Mule of intros for this movie. People show up and then they quickly disappear because they're killed off in one way or another, or they just disappear.
So the funny thing about this movie, I feel like it has like 3 introductions.
It really does. So it starts out at the
almost like
3/4.
Yeah, where he's giving an interview and you're seeing a snip of his interview.
Right.
Then it goes into the animated, cartoony introduction where you're seeing him by himself going through a bunch of different projects and never finishing them. And then, eureka, I'm going to make a maze.
Well, because the character Harry, who's played by...
Nick Thune. No, Harry?
No, Harry.
James Urbaniak. Okay,
right.
Yeah.
One of your favorite people.
I'm sorry. I'm like, wait, because I'm looking at the names. I'm like, okay, sorry. James Urbaniak is one of my favorite people. His voice is awesome, and he's also Dr. Venture.
Dr. Venture on Venture Brothers. That's why I was letting you say, bring him in. So Harry is a quote-unquote documentarian.
Yes.
Who never stops documentarian. Mm-hmm. And he always has a crew with him, apparently.
Yes.
He was also in The Office.
Yes.
He was Wolf. Or Wolf, something.
Oh, God, no, I don't remember. But
anyway, he was one of Dwight's friends.
So And weirdly enough, let's take a little detour back to Venture Brothers really quick. Unfortunately, I can't think of the man's last name, but it was the man who did the voice for the Monarch.
Sure.
He also did, because this is back when, well, the podcast Welcome to Night Vale was a baby. There was a 5-headed dragon. I want to say his name was Heimlich or something like that. And he
sounds like a 5-headed dragon.
He ran for mayor. Well, he did murder people, but he also ran for mayor.
Win?
He did.
Okay.
Well, no, I'm sorry. He lost because it was him. It was the faceless old woman who lives in your house, and Dana, the former intern who disappeared and then reappeared. All the interns died except for Dana, and I believe Dana won.
Okay. Well,
if I can remember, if I remember correctly. But regardless,
we can look it up on.
Yeah, he did the voice of all 5 of the dragon's voices, and I thought that was freaking hysterical.
Yeah, I'm really glad we jumped way away from that.
It was just when it was a baby show and nobody knew who it was, what the show was, but they were still getting people who had really amazing voices doing.
Not a sponsor.
No. Love you, Cecil. Okay.
So Harry is, at the start of this, he's asking questions as a documentarian off camera, and you see him talking to Dave.
Yes, make sure you answer the question.
Thune, who was in Knocked Up, Love Life, and people you may know, and that kind of thing.
Yes.
And Dave is trying to explain why he did what he did, why he built the maze.
Yeah, and really, what it boils down to with Dave, he's looking to complete something. I can relate to Dave on this level. Dave is an amazing starter. He can start anything. He was playing keyboard. He started the keyboarding. Then he quit painting. He was doing origami. He was, that's me. I start the crafts. I start the things. And I'm really bad at finishing them. I'm bad at the whole, I get bored or it's not coming out right, so I just get frustrated.
I've actually forgotten that I've started a craft. I've done it, and then I walk away from it, completely forgetting that I ever did it. And then I come back to it, I find it, and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about this. Why didn't I finish this? Because I just walked away.
Well, that's why we have a craft room that is mostly full of forgotten...
True.
Mostly supplies of crafts.
That's true.
Because I forget.
We could half-ass supply any art house.
Oh my God, yeah. Because, you're not going to want it because it's old and used. But mostly, because some stuff hasn't been.
Like old glue, we have old yarn, we have old things.
Old paint.
Yeah.
So I understand how he's thinking and how his girlfriend, she seems to be very successful. And she was away on a trip.
Who is Annie?
Yes.
Played by...
Okay, this is the disclaimer. I'm going to mispronounce names, so let's just hope I don't. Her name is Mira Rohit Kumbani.
I think you're right.
It sounded right, but I'm probably wrong.
She was in Weird City, The Big Sick, and Don't Worry, Darling.
She's beautiful.
She is.
I love her eyes.
And I just love the way her face emotes.
Oh my God.
You can tell when she is...
appalled, stressed,
yes.
in looking at him with complete adoration and love. You can see when she's wanting to kill him in his sleep,
Yeah, you really get a sense of
he wears it all here.
Now, I also want to say that there's another character in here called Gordon, and his name is Adam Bush, the actor's name. And I hate him.
Not the actor.
No, I kind of hate Adam.
Because he played.
He owed me money. And no, he played Warren in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And I'm still so angry with Warren. He killed Tara. I'm very pissed about that. I'm not happy. He's a smarmy asshole. And yeah, I can't get past that.
It's how I feel about the 456 and Yanto Jones.
Sure.
I can never forgive them for what they did to my baby, my little Welsh boy. I loves him.
So let's go over a few other people. We have Jane, who is...
You're going to make me say everyone's names. Kirsten Vangsness. She was in Criminal Minds, and she played Penelope.
Yep, and that's what she's best known for, I think.
Yes.
She was also in Chicago 8, Kill Me, and Deadly.
Yeah, I actually never seen any of those shows, but I know her from the internets as Penelope.
Then we have Bryn, who is one of a couple who is really quintessentially the Moscow Mule type people.
She's played by Stephanie Allen or Aline.
Yeah, she's in One Mississippi, The L Word, Generation Q, and In a World.
And my favorite, little tiny, he's not in it for very long. You squint and you miss him, even though he does actually have some lyrics. He actually has some lines. Timothy Norwind from OK Go, the band. And he was part of my clues from last week.
And he's the other half of
the
Jane. Jane.
Yeah, it's Jane and Greg. Yeah. And they say hello at the same time because they are those people.
Yeah.
They're with the 2017, they are definitely, what was the word they, not millennial, but I'm thinking of the other word they used to use for that generation.
Not yuppies.
Not yuppies. Why am I?
Oh, the people with the fake glasses.
Yeah,
I can't ever remember it. That's why I say Moscow Mule type people. We also have John Hennigan, who is the Minotaur. Because we have a maze, you have to have a Minotaur. He was in WWE Raw and Boone, The Bounty Hunter, and Glow. We also have Scott Krinsky as Leonard, and he was in Chuck. Scott played Jeff Barnes. Also, just a side note here, that Mark Christopher was in the last movie we watched, which was Cooties, and he's Big Mike in this. Oh, not in this, but in Chuck. Which is surprising because we have two cast members in two separate movies, one right after the other of Chuck. It's very odd. We are so unhip, we didn't know the word. What is it?
Nope, hipster.
That's right.
God dang it.
That's how unhip we are.
So annoying.
We're hip to be square.
So, if you don't know, Dave made a maze.
Yeah, you're going to get it wrong if you say Dave builds a maze. I know it rolls off the tongue, but it just isn't right. It's
because he does
made
build it, but he does make.
We say it constantly. It's always build.
And to quote Gordon, it's a labyrinth.
Yeah,
it's not a maze. Because otherwise it wouldn't have a minotaur.
Yeah, but fuck Gordon. I mean, not really, because I don't mind Gordon so much.
No,
but
Gordon's not so bad. Again, he kind of has.
Warren, okay.
He kind of has an Adam Rose about him that, they just have that similar kind of nerdy personality. Sure. And you know who Adam Rose is.
I said sure.
Okay, sometimes when you say sure, I think you don't mean yes, okay? I don't know. Yeah, we have, it's a pretty mixed, oh, did you go over our hobo?
No.
Okay, so he's only in the movie as literally a tertiary character.
Tertiary comes up several times.
It does come up several times. He comes in with a group of people. So,
along with the tourists.
So basically, Annie comes home and she finds the maze or the fort in the middle of the living room. She's like, "Hey, where are you?" He's like, "Hey, I'm in the maze, Dave. That is," and she can't find him. She ends up inviting Gordon. Gordon invites Leonard.
Everyone.
Leonard brings a fuck ton of people, and yes, there's two Flemish tourists. There's Greg and Jane. There's a homeless guy, and the homeless guy is Rick Overton. Now, if you don't know Rick Overton from back in the day, basically he was everywhere, and he's mellowed. I thought it was funny because he does not have many lines, and he was the funny fucking guy. I used to watch his stand-up a lot.
Yeah.
But he doesn't say much other than asking to use the shower, and then they're like, "What the hell?" And then that's when Annie decides she's going in, and everybody follows her, or actually they all go in first. And you think Rick Overton's with the crew, but then you look over after everyone's through and he's sitting there and he goes, he goes and helps himself to the stuff in the fridge.
Yeah, he's just kind of making himself at home.
And what's funny is when you're in the movie, every once in a while it pulls out to him sitting on the couch or on the chair in the living room, just watching,
eating something,
and watching the fort, because that's what it looks like on it looks like
it's a conglomeration of boxes in the center of the living room of this smaller apartment.
Mm-hmm.
And when she comes in, when Annie comes in, she was away on a trip, and he had been doing this the whole time that she was gone. So she's like not having it.
Mm-hmm.
She's just kind of,
over
I don't
him.
know, numb to everything.
You could tell, like, she's frustrated. And like, again, if he's a non-finisher, and he mentions later on that he's not working, he's been borrowing money from his parents, they're bored with him, everybody's bored with him. And I could see that, you know, her frustrations with somebody like that. As somebody who is like Dave, I worry all the time that people are seeing that in me. And it really, like, trust me, I'm not doing this to be a fuck up. I'm just incapable as much as I want to complete. So I think that's why I laud my degrees, because I finished it. You know, that's a huge thing, and I finished it. So I am a bad finisher. So when she comes in and she sees this, and then she hears him, and she's like, just come out. And he's trying to explain that he can't because it's big and he's lost. Her frustration is just getting higher and higher. And, you know, and Gordon and Leonard do not help.
Well, and that's where we're talking about her facial expressions.
Very.
When she's there, once she gets inside, she takes a shower and everything else, and she's still talking to him through the box, and she thinks he's just sitting in the box and not coming out. But she doesn't tell him. She tells him to come out, and he says he can't. But then she doesn't press him. But you can see on her face is just this sense of profound disappointment.
Yep. And she does shake it at one time. And he's like, don't, because you can hear stuff like...
They do a very good job of making the transition between this outside small box and this much bigger on the inside concept.
Yes. So if you've never seen this movie, we really don't want to give away too many spoilers.
No.
But at the same time, there's a lot. It's an underrated movie. And I think, and this is going to show you how underrated this movie is. They had I don't know why they got a greater symbol, but everything I saw when I was looking up the budget, it would have like a greater than symbol, and then it was like $500,000. So probably just over $500,000. Do you know how much they made in the U.S.? $34,000.
Oh, wow.
But they were nominated 8 times, and they won 18 different awards from...
It just wasn't publicized.
It really wasn't.
It is such a good movie. It is... I know we're throwing this out here at the very start, but I'm saying that this is such a well-done movie. And it doesn't take itself too seriously while it's being good.
That's why I don't like... It's labeled as a horror adventure, and I don't think it should be. I think it should be, like with Cooties, a horror comedy. Because it's got funny moments. Even the horrific moments are pretty fucking funny.
Right. And it doesn't take you out of it at all. In fact, it kind of draws you in.
Yeah, because you're going, how are they dying? How are the people dying in this movie?
We're not really here to do a review, but I guess we're doing a review. But
because we didn't really talk about how this movie made us feel, but in a way.
Well, how did it make you feel the first time you saw it?
First time I saw it, I was okay. I suggested the movie because somebody on TikTok suggested it. Sorry, our cat's trying to burn his tail off.
He's not smart.
Not smart at all. So on TikTok, somebody had suggested it on a list of a bunch of movies, and the concept of a movie where most of the movie takes place inside of a cardboard maze. I was like, we gotta check this out. And we're like, if worst comes to worst, it sucks. We never see it again.
Yeah, and at its core, Dave Made a Maze is not about much else than a relationship.
It really is.
It's about two people, and one of them is having his breakdown.
Yeah.
The other one is getting very frustrated with that breakdown.
But then as they start to work together, she's seeing that he is having a breakdown and needs support. And he, on the other hand, is actually working through that breakdown because he's getting to show her. So, yeah, he's working through.
Well, he's working through, creative paralysis. He's obviously having troubles with his fear of failure. I mean, these are the things that pretty much everybody goes through. Mm-hmm. But you have young white men in their early 30s. Typically, it's not a midlife crisis. It's that crisis before the midlife crisis. You have a few years to go.
Yeah, because this is what we do to men. We, as a society, and hey, I am mostly 90% pro-women, but I also see that part of the reason why men are the way they are, and I'm probably going to piss off a lot of people, but, hey, this is me. We do this to men. We create a society where we have expectations that we put and pressures that we put on men. And then we get pissed off because, well, they act like men. Because that's what we're teaching them how to do. And in a situation like this, I kind of look at our son, who is 31, and, I know he struggles. I know he struggles a lot. And I know he struggles with his mental health. And a lot of it is because society has told him he needed to be at a certain place in his life by the time he was in his 30s. And he's not there. Because he's still figuring things out. He's still fucking around, and he has found out because of his fucking around. And now he's trying to literally figure this out. He had way too much fun as a 20-something. And now he's trying to get it together. And he's looking back at his 20s going, what the fuck did I do?
Well,
and
time gets away with you.
And I think Dave is doing the same thing.
Away from you.
Yeah, he's doing the same thing. He's looking back at his life, and he's going, well, where am I? I'm with a woman who is successful. My friends, they don't seem to have the same issues that I have. So why am I struggling so hard with this? And again, this is our societal pressures. And this actually can go for both men and women. We tell children, while their brains are not developed yet, you need to decide what you want to be when you grow up. Get a job, and you need to go to college. Your brain isn't fully developed until it's at least 25 years. But don't worry, when you're 16 and 17, you better start thinking about your future, and you better be happy with it, because that's where you're going to go for the rest of your life. That's not fair.
Well, the best way to have a plan come undone is to have a plan.
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes, especially with, I think, Dave in this case, he probably had a very big direction to go in.
Yep.
And then it never came to fruition. So it's one of those things where you're like, oh, well, this is going to happen for me because that's the way I'm aimed.
Mm-hmm.
But just because you're aimed a certain way doesn't mean that's where you're going to end up.
Yeah.
And people that can't adapt to that, they have a lot of trouble. I did not have that. I was always a little bit lost.
Mm-hmm.
I did the things I did because they felt right at the time. I know it sounds weird for me to say that, but I joined the military out of thin air when I was 16. I just decided that that's what I was going to do. That's the direction I was going to go because it would get me going.
And it works for some people. But I can relate to this because I can look back and I can say between the ages of 15 to, I'll say 14, because that was when I had my first real job. So from the ages of 14 until I was about in my mid-30s, that is why I worked on a horse ranch, and I worked at McDonald's, and I was a hairstylist. Well, I wasn't even a hairstylist. I was a shampoo assistant because I hated working on hair, and I took 2 years of cosmetology and hated every second of it. But still, I was a shampoo assistant.
But now you know the stars.
Yeah. And and I was a dog groomer. I worked in banking, in internet lending.
Dog banking.
I was a phlebotomist.
Dog phlebotomy.
Dog phlebotomy. And now and then I was a teacher's assistant, and now I'm
not for dogs.
And then I was a special education teacher, and now I work with pre-K kids. So
now you're a spy for me.
Don't shush.
Oh, okay.
So, and in some way, shape, or form, I have worked with children for a very long time because I did work in an unlicensed, uneducated capacity as a preschool teacher per se. I worked in a daycare, which I think is a different situation. And I worked in 2 daycares, and I didn't even need to be qualified to do such. So that's kind of sad. But
that's scary.
Yeah. And I was a substitute teacher. So again, I've had a lot of careers because I didn't know. And I'm in my 50s and I still keep changing. Because you shouldn't...
Well, you're not changing.
I'm not
it's
changing.
Just things
I'm just
evolve
adjusting.
and things work out how they work out.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
everything is going to be as cut and dry as a career that you're just stable in. Not everybody has.
Oh, yeah. And again, not to completely diverge, but here we go. I knew... I as much as I am a huge advocate for public schools, I can no longer teach in public schools without wanting to murder people. Because, yeah, things change. And I'm now
Sure.
working for an amazing company and a nonprofit, and I get, I'm loving it.
Okay.
But it's
so
taken,
talking
but,
about
but,
Dave, though,
shush. But I'm getting it, though. Like, I get what, going through your 30s, and so for me, to answer your question about how it made me feel, I can relate to Dave. It made me feel... I felt bad for him. But I felt understanding for her. Because again, that frustration, I always felt like my parents and the people around me always looked at me frustrated because I never could finish or I could never commit to an idea. So yeah, I get that.
So the thing about Dave is he is his own worst enemy.
Oh, definitely.
He doesn't communicate.
Mm-hmm.
If he communicated and actually not buried the fucking lead, his girlfriend and his friends wouldn't have gone into the maze to begin with.
I mean, he did say it was dangerous.
No. He said, it's dangerous in here, knowing full well it looks like a cardboard box on the outside.
Okay.
He did not explain anything before they made the decision.
But how would they have... Okay. So, you come home one day and you see a cardboard fort in the middle of our living room. And you hear my voice coming from inside. And I'm telling you, there's a minotaur in here and there's a marionette.
He never said that.
Exactly. Would you believe me?
But he never said any of that. But
would you believe me if I had?
I wouldn't have believed that. But you're again not communicating clearly. It would have been...
This place
is bigger on the inside.
He said that at one point.
No, he said he said it at the end right before they came in. But the whole thing was, at the start, when she was talking to him saying, come out of there.
Yeah.
He didn't say any of that. He didn't say, I can't get out. I can't find my way out. He did that later when everybody was there.
Well, I know, like, at one point when Gordon first shows up, and he's like, well, why don't we just flip it over, and pull him out? And he's like, you can't move it. And he's like, no, it's taped to the rug. No, was it taped to the rug or was it stapled to the rug?
No, taped to the rug.
I mean...
He said it's really sealed, but...
Yeah.
That's one of those things where they're still thinking it's just a box and they can get him out.
Yeah.
And he's either fucking with them or they are just buying into his delusion.
I think the beauty of this movie is that they don't explain the whys or the hows. It's just the happens.
Sure, and that's great. I love that flight of fancy that causes everything to go really dark, but still kind of not dark.
Yeah.
But the whole thing is he just doesn't communicate well. He lets a lot of things just be assumed as if they can read his mind.
True. And I do appreciate, like, for her, first, they walk in and they're like, oh my God, this place is huge. And, he's like, I did say it was bigger. But it was how the craft is beautiful. I mean, every room is beautiful, even when it's just a basic room. So, fun facts with Michelle. The crew got a ton of cardboard donated to them from the American Apparel factory. And they're like, oh, this is going to last us the whole movie. And it lasted 3 weeks. So they had to find more cardboard. But American Apparel was like, yeah, no, fuck you guys. So they had a place called Solar City, which I'm not sure what kind of a store that is. But they said, sure, if you want to go dumpster diving, go for it. They also got cardboard donated to them from the, wait for it, the Cardboard Institute of Technology. I love that. They used 30,000 square feet of cardboard. And
I know you're laughing and everything, but
it's a lot.
in logistics, you learn very quickly
I'm not laughing. I think it's amazing. The Cardboard Institute.
They actually have engineers, packaging engineers, who design not just the packaging that goes around products, but also the type of cardboards that are used for certain loads and compressions. So
I think it's amazing. I wasn't laughing. I just think that's a fantastic. I love that idea that there's a place called the Cardboard Institute of Technology. But yeah, 30,000. I think it's I think they had 20 rooms that they completed.
Yeah, and almost all of it was corrugated cardboard of some kind.
Of some kind. And
a lot of paper, but mostly.
That craft paper was used in a lot of cases.
A lot of origami.
I like
cardstock, stuff like that.
And we don't want to give you guys details of the rooms, and obviously we don't want to give you all the details of things that do happen because, again, we would love for you to go and watch this movie. It does deserve the credit that it just deserves all the credit. But I know a lot of people didn't like the script from what I was reading, but I thought it was not a bad script. It was what it was. It's
not so much about the script, though. I think if you read the script separate from what's happening, it would be a little boring.
Yeah.
But it's about how the movie in totality is. And I think if you're just taking one aspect or the other, it's not going to work out because a lot of things are played off between people and the way they're looking at each other.
I do.
There's a whole sequence in which, yes, they are saying words, but it's between Dave and Annie.
Yes.
And the way they look at each other. And he doesn't emote well. He's not the best emoter, but she was pulling that out of him.
Yeah.
And you could tell by her reactions with her face what he was doing.
I like that scene because it just rounds and rounds in a circle. So they're just standing at the counter, or he's sitting, she's standing at the counter, and they're literally sharing a glass of wine.
Or coffee.
Or whatever. And you don't know, at first you think it's a memory, and then you're like, okay, it's not a memory. And then the clothing changes, the scenery changes, things just constantly change, but they are so focused on one another and they keep saying the same lines in different ways over and over again. And it is just, you can see that there is this, I love you regardless. And this is, for both of them, regardless of what's going on and what we're in right now, we're together in this. And there's just something really beautiful about that scene.
Well, I think a lot of times people will see the maze as something that Dave is going through, and it is initially.
It is.
But the maze also includes her.
Well,
it includes his friends as well, because they come into the maze for a reason, because they are a part of the maze. And without them in the maze, he never would have been able to finish it, because first of all, he never thought to do the thing that was crucial to end the maze.
Which was to...
Well,
we're not going to tell you what it is.
We don't want to say that. Because you should watch it.
Yes.
But that manifestation of his, inner turmoil, which is fueling his drive to build the maze, is not what completes it. What completes the maze is his friends and his girlfriend and their kind of love for each other, even though the friends kind of don't really express that.
Yeah.
They're there.
They're there.
And that's what matters.
And that's it. And it is that working together. And even though they're working together separately in certain situations, they're still working together to escape, essentially.
Yeah.
And yes, there is some questionable endings of certain characters because we ourselves questioned what happened to them.
I don't think you're supposed to know what happened.
I think, and then again, you don't understand 100% about this maze. So, I mean, if I was to build a cardboard maze, or you were to build a cardboard maze or a labyrinth, a minotaur is not going to magically appear. But that was kind of like the way this kind of seems is like, oh, well, he built the labyrinth, so of course a minotaur is going to show up and appear. I know that also it gives you this feeling that it feeds off of its need to keep living, and it manifests the evils in it.
I think it feeds off of Dave's need for it to keep living.
True. The only blood we actually see, real, quote unquote, movie blood, real blood,
is a drop.
The rest of the blood, we don't see blood.
Yeah, it's from
but
Gordon.
trust me, it's fucking gory.
Gordon cuts himself on cardboard.
Yep. And it absorbs the blood.
Immediately.
But, like I said, it's a gory-ass movie, but you don't see blood.
Yeah, but the maze itself is this messy, like...
But it's beautiful, too.
Yeah, but it's a messy, unpredictable maze. You don't know what's going to... It's not organized in any specific way. It's just... It's Dave's inner turmoil that I think is reflecting that. But then it starts reflecting these parts of him that attach to other people.
Yes.
Because in the maze, you have these associations to Gordon. I made this for you. Or I made this for Annie. And you see this like nice, beautiful areas in some areas where Annie's like, oh, this is so nice. And,
with the lights and the...
But it changes because things are changing.
Yeah.
Because their feelings are kind of corrupted, or she's annoyed with him and he's annoyed with himself.
Yeah.
For different parts of this.
Apparently they did a old-fashioned, timey-wimey, black and white-ish movie that Harry directed, and he's like, I couldn't get the pages to come out of the book or something like that, and they all kind of turned black and come out of the script, and they all turned black and white for a minute. That was pretty cool, and then they're all like, "Did you fuck my wife? Did you fuck my wife?" Which I don't know if that's actually from something, but I always relate that to Eddie Izzard.
No. Eddie Izzard has it in his stand-up.
Yeah, that's what I always think of that, is you fuck my wife, I am your wife.
But Eddie Izzard did do that in
that's what I always relate to, is the stand-up. So, they do that, and, again,
So in the middle of the movie, you have Dave, who's trapped inside his own creation. He is forced, through Harry, who is the documentarian, to kind of confront what he's done with his unchecked imagination and his avoidance of doing anything else.
Yeah.
Where he focuses just on this maze, and he's caused these problems by building these traps and everything else. So he's kind of confronting that, and he knows what he's done. He just doesn't know how to explain why he did it.
Really, he doesn't. Because even every time he's tried, it's just, he's like, I'm proud of it. I made it because I could. And again, I get that as well. But trying to explain to people why you do the things you do sometimes is...
Yeah, but it wasn't for Harry to figure out, because Harry still didn't know.
No.
But if you look in the background, Annie looks up at him. She's starting to understand.
It's because I could.
She's starting to understand why he's doing these things, because she's been frustrated with him because he's not communicating. This is one of those times where he's actually communicating, and she's hearing his words.
Yeah, and understanding that he's just really just struggling and he needs help. And, he loves her, but he doesn't know how to ask her for that help because he already feels like he's being a burden. Yeah,
and let's not leave Gordon out of this because he is the best friend.
Yes.
But in the middle of all this, too, is he actually starts to become less of a dick and more of a caring about what's happening.
Oh, yeah, because literally when he first walks in the door, the first thing he says was, you found him? Not with a plastic bag over his head hanging in the closet? Because, they all assumed he was going to kill himself. Because then Leonard comes in and says the same exact thing.
Right.
So
they've been talking about it.
Yeah, so your friends think you're going to kill yourself.
But didn't check on you.
And they didn't check on you. So, of course, he's going to have some issues.
But Gordon does have, as you see him in the movie, he has loyalty to his friend. He's just not great at displaying it, just like Dave isn't great.
Yeah.
And he has some emotional depth because it comes out, especially about 3/4 of the way in. He starts realizing that it's not just the dangers to his own life, but to his friend.
Yeah.
To Dave.
And I think that's the part where he's really decides that he's got to fight. He's got to really fight to get out of there, That's the only way he's going to get out of there, and it's the only way he's going to be able to get them out of there, which is the main thing, and mostly Annie.
It takes a long time for Dave to get to that point because he's still, as she pointed out, if you finish it, you know, if you walk away now, it's because you're not finishing something yet again.
Mm-hmm. Though at first when he said, I want to finish this, they're like, because they didn't understand.
Right.
And then once they started to understand, and then
they're trying to make him understand, hey, people are dying.
Yeah. But I think they weren't getting that he needed to finish, but they turned around when they realized that, and then it was like trying to convince him, okay, well, you really do have to finish this.
Well, you had to because the maze is Dave.
Yeah. Because
Dave has to finish something or the maze never stops.
Oh, yeah. And that's what I like about the tagline of, sometimes I always look at the taglines and sometimes they're relevant, but this one was like, he thought of everything but a way out. And I like that because it really does
Well, he even said it, you know, that he didn't do the thing that finishes it in the end.
Yeah.
He didn't build it because he didn't want it to be destroyed.
He didn't want it to be destroyed.
And that's when she kind of starts to understand that
he needed something more in his life, and he wasn't able to produce it any other way except with the maze. But the maze is dangerous. The maze is bad. And what's your favorite part of the maze?
I know you want me to say the vagina.
No, it's not. No, that is not where I was going with this, because I was going to tell you my favorite part.
My favorite part is the origami.
Yes, the origami birds. I was literally going to say that.
The origami birds.
The swans.
That's one of the things that I think it was Harry or Gordon said. I'm not very sure. I can't remember which one said it. Was we're not going to address the fact that he's able to animate inanimate objects because origami birds are flying around.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
It was Gordon. Because Harry is, throughout this whole thing, Harry is very much detached. He thinks that if he stays detached from everything, he can be a spectator.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm a little upset that he made it out without any injuries.
I know.
Because he didn't learn anything. In the end,
nope.
He came out of it just as detached as he always was. Oh, yeah,
because he's still recording the...
And I hate saying that, because we're giving away some stuff.
They get out of the maze.
They do get out of the maze.
Not everybody who went in gets out of the maze.
There's some I love the artistic parts of this, and there's a lot of art that's involved, but I love the way that they do damage to people, the way they do the changes that people go through. Mm-hmm. And you can see those. There's just so many things to this. I don't even know how to really properly assess this without saying everything about it.
It's so hard because it really...
There's one thing about the maze is outside of even Dave's controls that the rules keep changing.
Yep.
So 1 minute, the cardboard will cut you. Mm-hmm. As if you're like running your hand along tin.
Yeah.
Like a tin roof or something.
Yeah.
And then other moments, you can tear through it with your bare hands.
Yeah.
But one of the things is if you try to cut your way out or tear your way through it, it alerts the minotaur. Mm-hmm. The maze becomes angry.
Yes. I like the eye when she cuts through the wall the first time. And they rip it open, and there's that eye just staring at them. And then when they go in the hole that they made, the eye just becomes like this really cool, like 3-dimensional design of the mold.
Right, it's like a pupil back behind the iris, which is back behind the, sclera, which is back behind, this part.
I also, I think it's funny when they're going through the Star Wars trash heap scene, even though it's not. It's got the when we first see the flying origami swans, and she picks up the flower and looks at it, and she's like, "Oh!" And it's this origami flower, and I think Harry goes, "Can you look at that with more awe?" And she gets pissed and she throws it at him. And then it shows, it was Harry. Harry goes, "Can you look at that with more awe?" Because he's trying to film.
He's trying to film everything.
Yeah, and it's so Gordon picks up a piece of origami, and keep in mind they're up to their chests in paper trash, and he picks up a piece of origami, and it's a dick.
Yeah. Well, Harry's whole thing, I mean, the entire arc that we're talking about here from start to finish is that he's basically commodifying suffering.
Yes.
He's not really doing anything authentic.
No.
He's just kind of...
That's why he tries to interview Bryn.
Right.
And that's, you know, and Bryn, the marionette, is... I kept saying Jane, but it was Bryn. Bryn and Greg. Jane is
Yeah, Jane's
the other...
The
blonde. Yeah, she's now marionette Bryn, and he's now trying to interview this entity that's happens to just be like, high five, guys, high five. Don't give her a high five.
I love that the danger in the maze isn't always something that you can see. It's not always something that's present in your mind.
Yeah.
It's something that kind of creeps up on you.
Well, I also like that you don't know what room is the bad room. Like, what room is going to be dangerous. Every room, especially when we watched it the first time, we're watching it. And
we're just surprised at every time.
Every room. And then when the rooms don't do something, we're like, oh, well, shit. I expected something to happen here.
But also, there's the rooms where it doesn't happen, you have this profound sense of relief.
Oh, yeah.
That you have but you feel the same thing you think that they're feeling, because they have this feeling of relief for just that moment.
Uh-huh.
And you kind of feel that.
So, like, when they're going through the maze within a maze, and they get to the end of it, and I think Gordon turns around and says something to Dave, and Dave drops his stuff, and then then he goes off, and he's by himself now. Everyone's held up while Dave picks his stuff back up. I'm like, you're telling everybody to stay together, to not go far. You don't know. You just said this is uncharted territory for you, and people are now going through the maze all willy-nilly, like, you know.
Yeah, but there's parts of it, like Dave's, like, when they first get in and they feel like they're in danger and they're wanting to run, he comes in and like, Dave, and he goes, follow me, and he runs immediately into a dead end.
Yeah, so he doesn't even know.
Because he doesn't know everything about this maze.
And also, the maze keeps changing.
The maze changes, rules change, and Dave isn't in full control of the maze.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he's not in any control, because, again, the maze is more about his maelstrom of feelings than anything else.
And I also, I like when they go through, they think they've made it to the end, and it turns out that it's just a cardboard version of their apartment.
Yeah. Well, it expanded.
Yeah.
For them, it expanded. So in order to properly conceive what's happening here, think of, instead of the box and on the inside everything's bigger, when you're outside the box, you're outside that membrane, but when you're inside the box, the membrane's malleable. Okay. It stretches.
Yes.
So while they're in the box and they haven't actually gotten out of the box, it just takes over more of the apartment from their perspective.
Okay.
So I think what we're looking at is a dimensional shift.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what, in your opinion, because the movie does not explain this, what is the maze?
It's a dimensional shift.
Definitely.
It's you're in a dimensional pocket that is, again, like a membrane that you're stretching over. So as it's growing, it's taking over more pieces of the apartment.
Yeah.
And that's why you keep seeing these different additions.
Yeah.
The table, the
counter, the background, the kitchenette.
Yeah, stuff like that. So you start seeing more and more of it, because it is taking over more of the apartment from their perspective, from their, I guess, quantum perspective, or if you want to, the dimensional perspective. Whereas outside of that, the guy's still sitting in there eating
Rick Overton is still sitting
yogurt.
There. Yeah.
He's eating their Go-Gurt or whatever.
Their Go-Gurts. Because they are hipsters.
Which is just yogurt in a tube, people.
Yeah, well, So... and my notes say, first part I wrote was, really about finding where you... I can't read my own handwriting. I write
finding where you flub-a-lob.
Well, see, I write really well if you give me a marker and a whiteboard, but you give me a pen and paper, and it is worse than a doctor's signature, okay?
Do you know what it says?
Yes. It says, really about finishing what you start, which is basically what we said, but then I wrote finding understanding. And that was to me, the other part of the movie is the key, is finding understanding.
I think a lot of the not finishing what he starts is his frustration with not being able to express that.
Yeah.
And once he's able to express that to another person, so that they have understanding of him, is when they truly get out of the maze. Because this is the thing of like being in a relationship of any kind, friendship or romantic. Once you're able to express yourself to that other person, and that person is able to reciprocate that, then you work together. And that's how they get out of the maze. Dave doesn't build the thing that saves them.
No.
They both build it.
Yeah, they all work on it together in a way, even
Gordon.
Yeah, Gordon and Harry. And
Well, not so much Harry.
Not so much Harry. He's there to film the whole thing.
Sure he is. He's there to, in a way, profit off of it.
In a way, yeah.
He's not a very good friend, I would say.
I think the symbolism is really where the key is, because there's a lot of symbolism in the maze, and it was the symbolism of what they created to complete the maze, and even the symbolism within that object when they start it. It shows you that she accepts, what he's showing her, because again, it isn't just his words; it's what she's seeing in the maze. It's what Gordon is seeing in the maze.
Well, her face when she sees the origami birds.
Oh, yeah.
The cranes.
Yeah.
She's got one and is flapping in her hand.
And
she is mesmerized.
Oh, yeah. Because she's like...
And you can actually see her thinking, look what he made.
This is beautiful.
Yeah.
He created this.
She's very good at expressing things through her facial expression.
Yeah. Amazing. And, and that in itself... It was her. I think her ticking point, really, just like, this is it. This is me. Whether she realizes it or not, she's starting to go, he has something. How did I miss this? And he doesn't know that he even has something. He thinks he's lost because, again, you can be creative, but when the people around you don't see your ability or who you are, you just keep spinning and spinning and spinning. If you hadn't been encouraging for me to go to school, I probably would never have gotten my degrees. And you encouraged me. You saw that, yeah, I was spinning my wheels, but you saw my intelligence and you saw who I could be or what I could be. So when I said I wanted to go back to school, you were the catalyst of me going back to school to do something with myself. And anytime I say I'd like to go back to school for something, you never say, that's kind of stupid because, you did blah, blah, blah. No, you're like, well, if you think it's something that's going to make you happy, do it. So Dave needed that. He needed that person. And Annie was that person for him in that moment because beforehand, she didn't see it.
Well, I think in the end, what she did for him was instead of being exasperated with him, she chose empathy.
Yeah.
She was able to understand that he is frustrated, and the reason why he is because he just doesn't feel supported.
Yeah.
And he's spinning his wheels, like you said. He doesn't have any traction for anything. She is that grounding force that gives him traction.
Oh, definitely.
And I think in a lot of ways he does too for her, in that way that maybe not, monetarily or through a job because she's employed, she's doing her thing. But I think emotionally, she is more attached to the idea of the relationship. I think she was drifting away before.
Definitely. I think she was starting to feel that this was becoming too much for her.
But this isn't about, the movie is not about keeping someone or winning someone. This is about understanding someone.
Yep.
And these are not just Dave. They learn to understand Annie. They learn to understand Gordon. And Harry, you start understanding even Harry. And even the boom operator.
Yeah. He
and the cameraman.
He fucked that vagina.
He
tried to, at least.
Yes. Well, okay, there's a giant cardboard.
It's a trap.
Vagina trap thing that's in there. It turns things cardboard.
Yeah.
And
we'll not tell you why. We'll not tell you how we know.
Yeah. You'll just have to find out for yourself.
Yes. But I'm pretty sure he did.
So, we're going to come down to it. How do you feel now, having seen it?
I still love it. I still love it. It still makes me feel the same. I think it actually gives me a little bit more insight. Before, it was just a silly horror movie, because I guess it is kind of horror-ish, but it made me like it even more because I was able to, the second time around, look at more of the characters and less of what was going on to the characters and around the characters, which is what I was focused on the first time we watched it, because it's so intriguing.
There's a lot.
It's a lot, and
There's
it's so
going
intriguing.
on.
So this time, I didn't remember everything, but I remembered enough that I was able to really focus on the different characters.
I think I started understanding the emotional relationships
Yeah.
in the story, whereas before, I think I just saw a lot of it surface level.
Oh, yeah.
I was more intrigued with the cardboard and not with, I think, the development of the characters. That's why this time I really paid attention to those movements within each one's story, because you have so many things happening. It is really easy to forget that this is about relationships. It's about how people interact with each other. At the very start, they're very flippant, or they're exasperated and distant.
Oh, definitely.
And they gain a lot of perspective for each other, and just going after him and helping him get out, helping themselves get out. And I think even the Minotaur, they start learning that there are real dangers involved in not appreciating each other's emotional boundaries or their emotional needs, and that there are pitfalls to be had in every relationship, no matter how trite it might be. Harry, for instance, who is a very distant relationship with everyone, uses people for the most part.
Yes.
But even he has a place.
Yeah.
Because without him, I don't think they would have sat down to talk about it.
No, I don't think they would have. I think it would have been just run. And because he's forcing them to do these interviews with him, and literally he is forcing them.
Oh, yeah.
And so because of that, they open up. They speak their mind to a certain degree of how they feel about the situation. It really could have been, Dave made an emotional journey movie.
It really could have. I mean, it would have really undercut the cardboard.
Totally would have undercut the cardboard. Probably their budget too, but
Undercut the cardboard. Okay.
Hey, did you ever realize how fun James Urbaniak's name is to say?
Yeah, it's
Urbaniak.
You ought to know
Exactly.
by now.
I was thinking that in my head.
Heard it do a Billy Joel song.
It did.
We knew exactly where we were going. That's how tight we are.
How does it made you feel?
How's it made me feel? I'll tell you how's it made me feel. It made me feel appreciative of having someone snuggled up beside me while I'm watching the movie. Because I really love that. It's one of my favorite things, of just you like snuggling up against me while we watch a movie and we take notes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I would do this for free, but I'm so glad I'm getting paid for it. No, we're not getting paid
for this. You're funny.
We'd
love to get paid for it, but we don't get paid
one day.
for it. Maybe one day.
But I'm so happy we get to do this. And because this is about emotions and about relationships in this movie, it made me think about our relationship while we're watching. A meta relationship scenario here, where we're watching the movie and I'm thinking about our relationship while I'm watching the movie, and how we've had our own cardboard mazes that we've had to go through over time.
Oh yeah.
And I think we really did figure out a way to get out of the maze ourselves.
Oh yeah.
I think everybody has to work towards figuring a way out of their own mazes. Or labyrinths. If you will. If you have a minotaur, it's a labyrinth.
Yes.
If you don't have a minotaur,
it's just a maze.
It's probably a maze. Depends on how much corn you have in there.
I also, I think it's funny that, while encouraging you are also encouraging borderline enabler, because I will say, we need to call that craft room. And then the next breath, I'm like, I'd love to try to do clay cane and make beads and stuff like that. And you're like, you'd be really good at that.
Okay, so...
And I appreciate that a lot, but also part of me is like, you hypocritical bitch, we're talking about cleaning that all. No, you're telling me to buy more stuff now.
But here's the thing is, I know my belief system. I am an atheist. I fully believe, I can't not believe it, because I have no other proof otherwise, that there is just one life. You have one singular life. Mm-hmm. And then there's nothing. Why the hell would you not do everything in your power to hold on to that life and also enjoy it as much as you possibly can within the confines of your ability?
Oh, no, I get that. I'm just playing with you because I think it's funny.
But we're talking about feelings.
Yeah,
and
no,
I want to, I think it's important to go through not just the movie's feelings, but our feelings.
Yeah.
And one of those is, you should not hinder your joy in life. And I definitely don't want to ever be the reason someone doesn't enjoy their life. I have been that person for other people.
I know I have.
My first wife, I was the killer of joy for her. And that is my fault. I don't blame her for that. I blame me for that. I think that you should try your best to fix those things from the past. You can't change what you've done in the past. Dave couldn't change what he did in the past.
No.
Neither could Annie. What they could do is change how they're doing things now.
Yeah, how they're moving forward.
Right. You use what happened before as an experience to learn from. And then you just keep going forward. I'm still learning. I still fuck up all the time.
Oh.
I am hard to live with. I'm hard to deal with. But I try to learn, what I can do to change, not myself, my inner core being, but change how I communicate or how I discuss things, or maybe to rein in some of my emotions that I'm just not coming across correctly.
No, I get that. That's why I always say that, past Michelle is an asshole because she makes plans for present Michelle that future Michelle has to make. Future Michelle has to has to actually adapt to or do or whatever. But then when future Michelle becomes present Michelle, it's really present Michelle who has to deal with the shit.
Yeah, writing a lot of checks that have to get cashed.
Holy shit, past Michelle's an ass. A freaking useless fucking whore who can't do anything and then throws it all at future Michelle. And
Who
here
has to
I
deal with
am,
the
stuck in
aftermath.
dealing with this. Of course, I'm sitting here throwing the shit at future Michelle as well.
True.
And then I become past Michelle, and then I'm a whore.
I guess that's the way it goes. So, let's talk about the Castellini test.
I was gonna throw that at you.
I know. So we have the Castellini test, which is used to denote whether or not there's feminism or equity in the movie. Mm-hmm. We can say right away there's no diversity in this cast.
No.
You're not going to see it.
The Flemish people can't get any whiter.
No.
They're Aryan.
There's this distinct lack of
There's no rainbow in this movie.
Yes,
well, that's not true. Annie.
Sure.
That's the only rainbow. She is definitely a brown-skinned person. She is...
Yeah, but I'm talking about, overall, there's one person, that's it. There's nothing else.
No, there's nothing else. No, she is the only person of color in this whole film.
Yeah. When we're looking at Trimmers to it doesn't hold up to the Trimmer standard.
It doesn't, not with the diversity aspect. No, definitely not.
And also, this is again, sure, there is a brown person there, but she's supporting...
all the white boys.
The cast of white.
All the white boys.
And that's fine. It is what it is.
But that
we don't
beautiful-
pick the casting couch.
No, but that beautiful brown woman, she does support those white boys, and she keeps them in line.
She did a great job. She
keeps
was
those
such a
white
good
boys
actress.
in line.
I really hope that we see her in more stuff because
know.
I don't know what she's done like outside of the 3 that I pulled up.
Yeah.
But I would like to know, if she's done other movies and see what other things she can do.
Yeah.
And I hope she is doing something. I hope someone's giving her those roles.
I agree.
So, Castellini test.
Mm-hmm.
We have 3 criteria in order to determine whether or not there's feminism or equity involved.
Yes.
As I say that and don't have my rules in front of me.
Oh, no.
There have to be at least 2 named women characters with at least 5 lines of dialogue each.
Okay. We have Annie, we have Bryn, and we have Jane.
Right. Definitely Annie and Jane. They do the most talking.
They do. Bryn,
although Jane is definitely truncated on what she says.
Yeah, and Bryn really just talks to Greg.
Yeah.
Mostly, yeah.
Right.
That's not true. Mannequin.
Well,
The possible mannequin Bryn. She does have.
That's Bren, though.
Yeah, so she does. Yeah, have a whole conversation with the boys.
High five.
High five.
These characters must have a conversation, not necessarily with the other woman, either not about their partner or with their partner, future or current, and not about their relationship. It's going to get difficult.
Okay, but see, Annie does talk about getting Gordon with Gordon about getting Dave out of the maze. Not particularly about their relationship, but about how do we get him out of this. And
yeah, but the problem is that is about their relationship. It's not just metaphorical on the maze part. She's asking him to get him out because she cannot have a meaningful conversation with him because she's exasperated about the relationship. Yes.
But then there's like talking about the maze itself.
Sure.
If we go for that being metaphoric, then there's nobody having any conversations.
Well, but if we're saying there's meaningful conversations, then is there a meaningful conversation with her outside of the relationship?
No, all her conversations are about the maze or about their relationship.
But we also have Jane.
Well, yeah, Jane doesn't really have any meaningful conversations.
No,
but she does talk to them about.
Within the realm of Jane's psyche, those are meaningful conversations.
True, and she's very excited
For
about.
For her, they're meaningful.
Yeah, because until that last room, there's she hasn't had any problems and she's loved it. And she's excited and sharing all of that with them, with the crew.
She has a smaller role, but she has several lines where she does talk about it, and it's not romantic.
Also, though, if you think about it, I'm going to keep going back to the Annie thing. She, when they're discussing how to complete the maze, yes, it is metaphor for their relationship and such, but also it's not. When they're talking about it, she's really literally talking about the maze. You can, again, it's a whole squint sideways.
You think it's...
I think it passes.
Okay. That's fine.
Yeah.
For me, it doesn't necessarily pass, but I think there's enough between her and Jane to say that it does pass.
Okay.
At least one woman has to be integral to the plot.
Annie.
Meaning if she were written out of the film, it couldn't reach the same ending.
It wouldn't even matter.
Oh yeah, Annie, absolutely. Without Annie, there is no grounding force. First of all, nobody was going to go in the box.
No.
His friends never would have gone in there.
It, not until she
They wouldn't even shown up.
That's not true. They did ask, when can we go in the box?
Yeah, but they never would have shown up to go in.
No. Honestly, it would.
3 days.
Do you know what the movie would have been called? Dave hanging in a closet with a plastic bag over his head.
No, it would have been called Dave Dies in a Maze.
Or Dave dies in a closet with a plastic bag on his head.
Because they never would have checked.
No.
Because it had been 3 days and nobody had checked with him.
No, and he couldn't poop. Because he didn't want to poop on the floor.
3 days of no food, no drink.
And no pooping.
I
don't poop for 3 days sometimes.
Dave's got some metabolism
body.
if he can still do that.
He must be on
very weird
meds or something.
So it does pass the Castellini test. Mm-hmm. Do you think it passes equity?
No, it does not pass equity. Again, if...
What are your reasonings?
Okay, I was getting to that.
Okay. I'm commentating.
If it passed...
I'm doing the documentarian thing where I ask the question.
If it were to pass equity, in the sense of, first thing, it needs to have a more diverse cast. That's a first. Second, it would need to have more women with more active parts, especially in the main crew. Instead of it being five guys. Yeah, one, two, three, four, five. Yeah, it's five guys and her. It could have been, Harry could have had women as his boom mic and camera operator. That could have been the feminist aspect. And so, yeah, I think that it is definitely lacking in equity when it comes to that. The showing of.
Do you think that Annie's role was one of equity?
Not necessarily. I mean, I want to say yes because she is a strong, independent woman, but I also feel like
the men are dismissive.
Yes, very dismissive of her feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Except, I don't think Dave. I mean, Dave is to a certain degree because he's so in his own head. But once he stops being in his own head in the literal sense, he's no longer dismissive of her feelings. Because, I mean, again, he's building rooms for her. He did build rooms for her. It's not just the maze didn't do all of that. He did that. He said, I built this for you. So, I mean, well, he built the vagina for Gordon, but that was different and weird. But so, I mean, it's definitely, he's not dismissive of her because he's trying to honor her in a way. Everybody else is dismissive of her.
Sure.
Even though she's leading the pack, in most of the time, she's the one leading them down the path. I don't think they really put full faith in her, and I don't know. That's just me.
No, I agree. I think that she is definitely disregarded in a lot of ways, or dismissed as not being, the decider of things.
Yeah.
Gordon and Harry definitely have their own ideas of what they're going to do and how they're going to do it. Mm-hmm. But she takes charge.
Yeah, she does.
She has to take charge because the boys
are idiots.
Are kind of doing their own thing.
They're idiots.
They do follow her, though.
Well, because they're idiots.
Well,
there's that whole, how can I keep picking on her if I don't, if I lag behind?
Well, I think
not
a lot
picking
of it,
on her, but
it had to do with trying to help Dave more than anything else.
It's really had nothing. For them, it had nothing to do with her. She was just there. Right. Really.
So, I think that when all is said and done, truly the maze that you make is all in your own head. It's about your emotions. And you have to figure out how to navigate that maze. Even if it has a minotaur and it ends up being a labyrinth.
I mean, because the maze was a metaphor for the brain, for Dave's brain, right?
Yeah, but there was a maze inside the labyrinth. It was unfinished.
So if you would like to see this masterpiece, because honestly, it really is, in a way, in its own way, you can watch it on Tubi, Plex, YouTube TV, Fandango at Home, Amazon Prime, YouTube, Google Play, Apple TV, and you can watch those either free through subscriptions, or you can rent it for $2.99 to $3.99, depending on if you feel like being Daddy Warbucks and shelling out the dough.
Out the shekels.
At the shekels.
Well, this has been Once More with Feelings with Beth and Michelle. You can find us wherever you listen to podcasts. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Blue Sky at OMWFPod. Or you can visit our page at oncemorewithfeelings.podbean.com, or you can send us an email at omwfpod@gmail.com. Take a moment to subscribe and rate us on iTunes and or YouTube or wherever you listen to us. We would appreciate that.
Oh, definitely. And so for this month's Hallowtober Mild Fest that we're doing here, next week's a little bit scarier. So, again, we started with Cooties, which was not very scary. And then we did Dave Made a Maze, which is a bit more psychologically confusing.
I think in the horror realm, it is more of a Muppets horror.
Yeah, where Cooties... Actually, Cooties was a little bit more frightening than Dave Made a Maze.
It's more gory.
Definitely more gory. So, yes.
We may have inversed these.
We might
movies.
have in our heads, and we kind of did them backwards. But this next week, I think we're doing it with the next 2 movies as well. But
Oh, yeah, it's definitely jumping up.
well, yeah, but the movie after that, I think, is also going to go backwards a step. But I think it's because
Sure.
of the age of it. But we're doing it's an old movie, but it's not that old. Here are your hints, because again, I am excited about next week's movie. I am very excited. So the first hint is, because real hypnosis techniques were used in the filming of this one scene to prevent the audience from actually succumbing to hypnosis, they throw in this musical accent that it's played at the end of the scene to keep everybody from succumbing, basically wake you up. That kind of freaks me out a bit, because I've seen this movie a few times and I never knew that. Okay.
But you did cluck like a chicken.
I did cluck like a
it was
chicken. That
funny.
explains a lot. And the second, and this shows you how fucked up this movie is, guys. The second clue, a stuntman was paid to have a real safety pin pushed through his hand, where in the scene, the real actor has a safety pin pushed through his hand. You'll think, if you watch it, you think it's fake. You think that they just used a fake hand and stuff, but they actually brought somebody in who was willing to have it done for them on camera. So it's actually a real safety pin getting pushed in through somebody's hand. So this is one of those few scary movies that I really adore. But that's my nostalgia thinking, because I have not seen this movie in a very, very long
No, I
time.
can tell you it is a very good, very scary movie.
I'm excited. I can't wait to see it.
Psychologically scary.
Oh, it's very psychological, but it does have the supernatural woo-woo factor.
Sure.
So, yes.
I would say Dave Made a Maze is relationship scary.
Yeah, there you go.
With tones of Muppetness.
Okay, and so, we'll do, Cooties was zombie. There was relationship, but it was not that big of a deal. Dave Made a Maze, more relationship related, and that is scary. This coming movie, relationship is established, but because of outside influences, it could really fuck the whole
It's a
relationship.
psychological horror.
Yeah, but again, with the ghostly woo-woo.
Okay.
Very excited. So, yeah. Until next time.
When you're in a cardboard maze, cut it out.
Remember, they won't hear me. So if you could answer the questions in complete sentences. I built the maze because...
I built the maze because I wanted to make something.
And?
Oh, God. Am I coming off angry? Just please don't let me come across angry on this. Or spineless, please.
Of course.
For fuck's sake, do not make me look like a spineless asshole.